Hi, I'm Essie.
And I'm Elle.
Welcome back to Magic and Mayhem. Okay, hello. So, today's episode, we're going to be talking about our favorites of 2023, which I'm so excited for.
Woo! Applause, applause, applause.
Also known as the best thing to get to do at the end of the year. So, for ease and sake for us, we're only doing 6 books each because we don't want to be here forever. So we're going to do 6 of our top favorites of the year, and then if we have time at the end, we'll do rapid fire honorable mentions. So
I'm not going in any specific order, but
true.
my first 5-star that I'm going to bring up, again, not in order. Shut up. First one up is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This one, it was kind of, spoiler, a little bit sad in the ending, but it was such a fun road there. This basically
Yes.
little grandmother bullying everyone, absolutely everyone. She runs this tea shop, and there's a murder, which I love murder mysteries.
Same.
So much. And yeah, murder mystery, and she takes it upon herself. She thinks the police are sucking at their jobs. And she's like, I could do better. So she takes it upon herself to be the lead investigator, whether or not anyone at all wants her to do this.
Or thinks that she is.
Yes. And no matter how irked everyone gets, she's just like, no, you're dumb. I can do this better. I love her so.
She is fantastic.
And she just she straight up tells all these people, she's like, oh, you're my suspect. But then she also proceeds to help them straighten out their lives.
Yeah, it was great.
Whether they want her help or not, it does not matter. She's like, nah, you suck. I help you out. It's fine. You will be much better off in life with my help. And they're like, wait, what?
Yes.
And yes, she just shows up into their lives, and it's fantastically funny, and it's cute.
Definitely a bit of found family vibes.
Definitely found family.
Yeah.
But found family with murder.
Yes.
Which
murder found family? Yeah.
Murder family.
And I also give it 5 stars. So there you go.
Yes. So it was a great read. Tons of fun.
Okay, mine are also in no particular order, so. But I think this was one of my first 5 stars of the year. Or definitely one of my first, oh my gosh, this is a favorite. The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, which Elle convinced me to read. Although I think after you recommended it, you're like, I think you'll like it. I'm not really
sure.
I
did start questioning myself a little bit. I was kind of trying to backpedal. I was like, I think you like it, but if you don't, it's not my fault.
Yeah. So yeah, I will say this is a kind of book that I think is pretty polarizing for people. Either people really like the writing style or they really dislike the writing style, because it is extremely flowery and kind of poetic, and there's stories inside stories inside stories.
And there's a reason you find out for that.
Yes, there's a reason for it, but if you don't like that kind of writing, you may not like it. But I loved it, and this is one of the few books I actually took my time to read. Typically I tend to binge read. I did not with this one at all, and I enjoyed it so much. So, the main character, Zachary, ends up finding about this whole world, kind of underneath the current world, and he meets some other people along the way, and it turns out there's bad stuff happening. I don't know how to say things without making it spoilery. I'm trying to not spoiler. Anyway, so he finds out there's this whole other world, beneath the world, with lots of books and stories and stuff in it, and there's a keeper of the stories, and
magic.
Yeah. And there's magic and other really awesome characters involved as well. And I don't know how much I can really tell you without being spoilery, so we're just going to stop there. But it is so intricate and so well done. Parts, they're sad, but the parts, but it's also funny in parts, and it's, I don't know, it was just such a fun read. It really felt like you're like going on an adventure kind of thing, without actually being an adventuring type of book, which was very interesting.
It was very adventure-y, for sure.
It's like you have to go on this whole journey, but you really don't. It's hard to explain.
It's kind of like the reading experience of you go on a reading journey, like you're in Middle Earth and you go into all these caves and whatever, but you actually didn't go anywhere, but you didn't.
As soon as I read The Starless Sea, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like my favorite book of the year. And I think I stand behind that, even though I read it in like February. I think I stand behind that. I think that is like my favorite book of the year. Although I have so many 5 stars this year, so you know, I absolutely loved it. I have 2 copies of it because I loved it. Although I didn't get a special edition of it, I'm kind of salty, but that's fine. Whatever.
We kind of found out about it late in the game, so
yeah,
getting special editions of it was hard.
Oh yeah, they're hundreds of dollars, and I'm not willing to do that. So
my next one is Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. I love the whole series. This one is unconnected for the first 3. This one is number 4, but it's outside of the original mystery. There's also another book, but I liked Box in the Woods a little bit better than the 9 Liars. Mostly that was because in this one it was just hilarious. It was such a trip. And I can't give too many spoilers, but obviously there's murder. It's a murder mystery, and you're solving cold cases with Stevie, basically a Nancy Drew type. Stevie has gotten to this camp that has had these really grisly murders, and the reason I liked it so well is kind of a spoiler, so I don't know if I can say why I enjoyed it. It's hard.
So you can't laugh at me about not being able to describe why I like something, because you can't do it either.
One of my absolute favorite moments, though, was one of Stevie's friends, Nate, is a writer who has writer's block. And he has been trying to write these books, but, you know, he's got writer's block, and he's one of the camp counselors. And one of the children he is charged at this camp to look after is a fan.
Oh, no.
And is constantly following him around like, okay, where's the next book?
Poor Nate.
Poor Nate. And he's just like, I swear, this kid. And the best of this whole little side plot, the best thing is, Stevie's there and hears the whole conversation, and the kid, he asks him like, well, when do you think, why aren't you writing right now? And he's like, well, I'm not feeling it right now. I don't want to right now. It's not going to happen right now. And the kid just goes, it will. You will.
This sounds
You
like
will.
a threat.
It's such a threat. You will. And just walks off. And Stevie's like, ooh, you be afraid.
Be very
afraid. She's like, that kid's gonna misery you.
100%.
And it was just a hilarious little moment. I don't feel like that's spoilery because it has absolutely nothing to do with the plot. So.
Yeah, no.
But it was so funny. Just this little, I don't know, probably 8-year-old just following him around. Like,
where's the book?
Where is it? If you need help, I have ideas.
Yes.
And it's like, go away.
Please go away.
And just that whole super threatening, kind of terrifying little 8-year-old. She's like, you will. You're like,
That's horrifying.
Hilarious, but it was this series of books. There's just something about them. You just binge them and you have a good time. reading them, binging them. It's just fun. They're just fun to read. They're a great little mystery, and you just have a good time. Or I suppose if you don't like it, you don't have a good time. But whatever. I had a fantastic time.
There you go. Okay, my next one is actually a graphic novel series. Bless you. I actually read quite a few graphic novels, and I could have included a whole bunch on this list. But that would probably have to be its own list, because I love so many. But there's one I read the entire series, and I absolutely loved it, was Lumberjanes. This is by a whole bunch of authors and illustrators. I can't remember all of them. There's like Indy Stevenson and Shannon Waters and Grace Ellis, and that's all of the ones I can remember off the top of my head. But anyway, many people contributed to the whole series, but I absolutely love the series. It was so much fun. It is definitely like middle grade-ish, I would say, age range, but it's just so much fun to read. And you get to love the characters so much, especially the cabin that you're mostly following. You just love them, and their counselor, and even like, and it's fantasy stuff happens that should never be able to happen in real life. Like, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief. But it's just...
You mean the dinosaurs aren't realistic?
Just slightly not. It's worse. It gets worse than that. But it's just so much fun, and the relationship between the girls is so cute and so sweet. And there's also like the cutest sapphic romance in it, and I just loved it so much. And I wasn't really sure what I was getting into when I started it, to be honest, because I don't even remember if anyone recommended this to me or if I just randomly picked it up. I might have randomly picked it up, to be fair. But it's just a good time. It's just a good time. And like, there are like some more serious topics in it. I mean, it's a long series though. I'll be honest, I think there's like 20 volumes, but usually there's like some kind of wrap up for most of the volumes. Some of them might be like a 2-volume like storyline and then it wraps up, but most of them wrap up pretty well. But yeah, I just loved it. I bought the whole series, and I just love the relationship between the girls and how they work together and all the stuff. And some of the moments are like proper a little bit creepy, so that was fun too. I didn't expect it to ever get like creepy, but sometimes it is. And even there's even characters I'm like, I started out not liking, but over like the arcs of the whole series, you're like, oh, okay, they redeemed themselves. That's fine.
Changed my mind. Never mind.
It's very like girl power, women uplifting women, and I loved it.
All right, so mine is also a graphic novel series. It's funny how we lined those up accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally. I had no idea what your list was. I bet I can guess which one it is, but I'm not gonna guess.
Okay, fine. I was gonna wait and see if you were gonna guess.
No, I'm not gonna guess.
All right, it is Fence. You did know, huh?
I did.
By C.S. Picat. It is a graphic novel series about Nicholas and Seji. They're the main characters, and they go to a fencing school. Little known fact about me, I love fencing. And so that already, I was like, oh, hello there.
So little known that even I didn't know that until recently.
Until I told you.
Yeah.
Via this series. The art is just gorgeous. Absolutely fantastic. But it's just so cute. It's so cute. It's kind of enemies to lovers with two of the characters, which I won't say who, but
enemies to friends to lovers.
Well, yeah, they haven't gotten to the lovers part yet. They're edging in towards friends at this point.
I'd say they're friends at this point.
Yes, but whether or not one of them would actually label it as friendship.
True.
At least not very willingly. But the development between I would say the main romantic pair. There are several pairs that you're rooting for.
Mm-hmm.
Several of them because they're just adorable. There's a lot of super cute characters. I would be hard pressed to say which character is my favorite because there are so many cute little beans in here. They're just what they are.
I call them cute little beans.
They are. They're so cute because they're just all so sweet
and so different.
They're very different, but they're all super unique characters, and you just love them all to death. And you're rooting for their success at all points.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they're fighting each other, then you're like in the competitions, then you're conflicted.
Yeah.
You're like, can you both win?
It does not how fencing works.
No, it's not. But you rejoice with their victories regardless. And they're very, very in-depth characters. I like the longer you read the series, the more you get to know them. Mm-hmm. Like one of the characters, like Aiden, at first you might think he's like super shallow. Not very.
Which, I mean, he is. But
okay, he is. But, and yet he's also kind of brilliant. Mm-hmm. You think at first, he's kind of stereotypical. You think he's gonna be this dumb blonde, and then he's not.
I can say dumb blonde because I am in fact blonde.
I know. And I love all the flipped tropes that they do. It's just fun. It is a fun time. And I obviously have never done fencing competitions, so I also learn theoretically. I don't know if it's completely accurate. Who knows? But, I mean, it looks accurate. Yeah. So I'm going to go with sure.
I'm gonna go with sure. And you made me read it.
I made you read it.
And I also gave it 5 stars.
And you also loved it.
I give all of them 5 stars.
Because they're so good. And the art is just absolutely stunning.
It's beautiful. So, my next one, I went back and forth a little bit, but I went with One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I actually read One Last Stop and Red, White, and Royal Blue this year, and both of them got 5 stars. But I feel like One Last Stop is underrated. So
it is underrated.
Because obviously Red, White, and Royal Blue got a movie, so like obviously that's gonna give it some extra attention.
Someday One Last Stop will get a movie too.
Oh, I would love that. I would totally watch that.
Obviously, I also like it.
Yes, clearly. But I don't even watch movies, but I would totally watch that. And I did watch the Red, White, and Royal Blue movie. So, but
I was shocked that you watched that movie.
I know.
I was like, what? You watched a movie?
Aren't you proud
of your
of me?
own free will?
Aren't you proud of me?
I was so proud. I cannot even
It was so good. It was totally worth it too. But I love One Last Stop. It is. I think it does throw a few people off because there is a little bit of a sci-fi element to it, but
yeah, a little magic-y kind of
magical realism, I would say.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I loved August as like a main character. She felt very relatable a lot of the time, and she was just so cute and like literally just deciding to like try and help Jane. Even knowing that it may end badly for herself, she still was like, but I want to help Jane not be stuck. Which is not a spoiler, because that's literally the whole plot of the book, is that Jane is stuck on the subway. And I thought their friendship to relationship was so cute, and I loved all of August's friends.
Oh, I know.
All of them. Just I can't even pick a favorite. I love all of them. They're all wonderful. That was
one thing in both the books. The side characters.
They're so good. They're so good. I'm like, please, can you please write books with the side characters?
Right, they're fantastic.
I want more of the side characters because they're wonderful. Not that August and Jane aren't wonderful too. They are. But I'm like, I would 100% read books just about the side characters too. But I love them all so much. Again, very, very like found family kind of vibes, which I loved. And the whole like working at the diner and just how they all were like, okay, we're all gonna pitch in to try this thing, to try and fix everything. I don't know how much I can say without being a spoiler, but it was just so cute. It was so well done. I loved it so much. And it wasn't like, I did like that the ending was very realistic. It was, I can't say anything because it's all spoiler. But it wasn't like everything's magically better and perfect and wonderful and all that, because that wouldn't make sense for the ending. So like the ending's a little bit bittersweet, and it's really nice. And normally I hate bittersweet endings, but I think it had to be.
Well, mine, not wholesome at all. Gonna flip the script here. We went from super cute
and wholesome, yes,
to thriller but I thoroughly enjoyed reading Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. It was such a trip.
Mm-hmm.
It was a trip. Without giving spoilers, I can't tell you why it was such a trip, but that
the twist
ending, that twist ending, I might not have liked the whole book as much without that incredible twist. Because I tend to be able to, for the most part, even if I don't want to, I can usually kind of predict what's going to happen. This one threw me. I was like, I had some parts of it put together. You know, you have some suspicions. And I kind of had some of the aspects figured out. And then, ta-da, twist! You're like, wait, what? But the thing was, it was so well done. Because there were hints all along the way. You just didn't know that was what you were getting your hint. Like, you just did not know what this meant until you got there and you're like, oh,
I get
it makes
now.
so much sense now. Yes. So fantastic to be gotten for a change.
Yes. I was really shocked you didn't guess it. She always guesses the twist, and it's no fun. So like, wait, what? Okay, I have to read this as well.
Yes.
It was so good.
It was just such a trip. And I loved actually being completely blown away by a twist ending. It was fantastic. I did really feel bad for Daisy, the character, even before more and more things came to light. And you just, in this is not, it's a murder mystery. I almost forgot to say that. It's a murder mystery.
Thriller, yeah.
Kind of locked room, but not exactly. It's hard. They're on an island. They're gathered together, no way off. Once a storm comes, and then
the tide comes up, yeah.
People start to die, and you find out why they died, and you're like, oh, I don't feel bad for you. It's sad. It's fun.
Yeah, it's not like a happy read.
It's not. Yeah, I wouldn't ever say it was happy. It wasn't like incredibly gory or anything.
No,
I didn't feel like.
No,
I could be skewed on that because I read things, but
no, I wouldn't.
I didn't feel like it was particularly gory, even though people are dying.
No,
it wasn't. Like
really detailed. Descriptive. Yeah. Switching back to another completely different type of book. I kind of group mine by what type of book they are. So my next one's also, okay, anyway.
I like that, the really trip you went on there.
I was going to describe it as fluffy, but I'm not sure fluffy's the right word. So the next one is Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly. I had heard really good things about Anita Kelly in their other book. I think it's called Love and Other Disasters. However, I do not like books that have like reality shows in them, so I didn't pick that one up. But I saw they'd come out with another book called Something Wild and Wonderful about the two main characters are walking the Pacific Trail. I was like, okay, that sounds really good. So that's what it is. The two characters, they're each walking the whole Pacific Trail. That might not be the totally correct name of the trail. I'm not a hiking expert. I don't really know. But anyway, so they're both hiking for different reasons, and they meet each other on the trail and end up walking together for a while and like get to know each other more and stuff like that. There is, okay, it's been a while since I read it, but There is neurodivergent rep in it. I don't remember if it's specifically named or not. I believe it is, but just in case it's not, I'm not gonna. So that was really good to see. But yeah, it was really emotional and also really cute and really funny and also like tackled like hard topics. It's just so good. It does feel, I don't know if it says exactly what the age of the characters are, but they definitely feel like slightly older characters. I thought it was really cute. It was really good and really heartbreaking at times. I will say it is in the same series. It's like a companion to the Love and Other Disasters, but I don't feel like you have to read Love and Other Disasters to enjoy the book. Like, there are characters that are recurring from the other book, but I don't think that you need to read the other book to enjoy it. So I've read a couple things from Anita Kelly this year, and definitely has become one of my favorite authors, and will be picking up more from them because I've been really, really enjoying it.
But I just adored reading this book from beginning to end. Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Yes!
Casey McQuiston. It was such a fun book. I was enjoying Alex and Henry pretty much the whole way. I really loved the side characters as well, their sisters and their friends. This one did get a movie. I've also seen. It's really good. I was really sad that the sister and the ex got combined. I was sad about that in the movie. I liked them as separate characters, but I completely understand why we did this.
Yeah.
And I was kind of sad in the movie we didn't get as much of Henry's sister either.
Yeah.
But because I just loved the dynamic of all these friends together.
Yeah.
I loved that in the book, but the movie was also fantastic. It's one of those rare occasions where I liked the book and the movie about equally. For different reasons, but
yeah.
I did like in the movie how they were aged up. That was kind of nice.
Yes.
Speaking of what you mentioned, aging up is kind of nice sometimes. I liked it regardless in the original, either way. And it was just such a cute romance. I mean, there were sad times too. There were some hard topics.
Yeah.
Some, again, homophobia portrayed in both the book and the movie. But it was really good. I loved their relationship, not only with each other, but with their siblings and their friends. And I loved how all of them came together when problems happened and supported each other. I think we got a little more of that in the book than the movie, but
yeah, definitely.
I just loved how supportive everyone was of each other.
Even their parents.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's so rare. Actually,
yeah, even
to see parents.
The parents were.
They had their moments, but
yeah,
for the most part, they were.
Not the grandparents so much.
Yeah, not so much.
But the parents.
I was really proud of some of the parents for stepping up.
Yes, I was too.
Because some of the parents in it were not ones you would have thought would have stepped up, but they did.
You're like, yes,
and you were really thankful that they stepped up and that they may not be perfect, but they were trying. That was so nice to see.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, there were sad moments, but it was just so wholesome. And,
it was.
Well,
and spicy too, but.
I mean, yeah, there was spice. That's true. It wasn't so bad, though.
There wasn't, like, a lot of spice.
I feel like it was a little bit less spicy than One Last Stop.
Really?
Just a very slight bit.
I feel the opposite.
Oh, really?
Huh. I can only remember, like, 2 scenes in One Last Stop. And I can remember, like, 4 in Red, White, and Royal Blue. But I read One Last Stop longer ago, so maybe I'm just not remembering as much.
Maybe. Spicy
either way,
a bit, but
mildly spicy, but like not.
It's not super descriptive, so I don't think that would be too bad for people who want to avoid that.
I mean, I feel like it's fairly easy to skip over if you're not into spice, and it's not like there's not like a ton of it. It's a few scenes. Neither one of us particularly love spice, and we still love both books. So there you go.
Yeah. But it was just so good. I enjoyed reading it so much. It was so cute. And I'm not much of a romance person as a general rule, so it says a lot that this was a pretty strictly romance book, and I was here for it 150%.
Yeah, I was really shocked that you liked it.
I read it before you did.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. You
I was shocked you read it at all. I was like, you picked up a romance? Who are you?
I know, it's so shocking. And then I watched the movie with a friend of mine, but then you watched it without me.
Yes.
Rude. And I didn't even know you were watching it.
You know, I prefer to watch movies alone. So I can be weird, and it's fine. Also, I can pause and rewind as many times as I want. Yeah, one of the few times I'd agree, the movie and the book are equally good, but for different reasons.
And I swear, I can't think of what the actor's name is, but the actor for Henry, the sad faces.
Oh my gosh. He was so good at sad faces.
The sad faces that actor can pull. You're just like, oh, you're murdering me right now.
What is his name?
I literally have no idea.
Oh my gosh. I should know this.
But I swear it just elevated the sadness to a breaking level. You're just like, please, I'll do anything. Just stop being sad.
Please.
Please, anything you want.
Like, yeah, he made you feel all... Nicholas Galitzine.
Okay.
Yeah. He made you feel all the feels.
Like, they both did a good job, but... like, that actor has mastered sad faces.
Yes.
I had never seen either one of them in anything before, but
no, I hadn't either.
But they did a fantastic job.
And this one's actually kind of unpopular, but The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England by Brandon Sanderson.
Yes.
I had to include a sci-fi. You knew I did.
Oh yeah,
I had to. This is kind of unpopular opinion though, because I feel like this is one of his least liked of the secret projects and just in general. But I had such a good time. Now, you can't take anything seriously, really. I mean, in some parts, but it's supposed to be funny. I mean, obviously the whole premise is this guy wakes up in medieval England, no idea who he is. Absolutely no idea what's happened, where he is, who he is, anything. And all he has is like a few like scraps of paper that say the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England, and that's like all he has to go on. And kind of immediately gets himself into trouble, and gets himself into trouble frequently. But it is like, I really like how because obviously the main character is from like further in the future than we are now, obviously. And so I really like how the future like kind of setting was kind of worked into like the medieval England, and like the little bits along the way that you get about the main character as he's also figuring out who he is and figuring out little bits about himself and like how he ended up getting there, because he has no idea what he did or how he got there. So figuring that stuff out, and then also learning about the people in this, in medieval England, which ends up not being quite medieval England like how you would traditionally think of it, because a bunch of stuff happened. Also, all the drawings and like side notes and all the things in the because I have the premium hardcover or whatever directly through Dragonsteel, I think
I think that's what it is.
Is the name of Brandon Sanderson's site. All the little drawings and everything are just, there's like a whole another story just in the little drawings at the bottom of each page. Like, it's so funny and so cute to watch all the drawings become like their own story. And then like all the little sides that are like excerpts from the handbook and like all these things, and it's so funny, and it's not meant to be taken seriously at all. But I mean, they do have some very like real problems that happen. But so there's definitely a whole lot of character growth that happens. I loved all the characters. I don't know how much I can say, but one of my favorite characters is the little old woman. That's all I'm gonna say about her. She's fantastic, and I love her. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely like fantasy sci-fi. It's not strictly sci-fi. I mean, there's definitely the sci-fi elements, but there's definitely like a fantastical element too. I really enjoyed all the side characters. Well, most of the side characters too, not all of them.
I like how you corrected yourself.
I had to correct myself because some of them I didn't enjoy as much, but a lot of the side characters I did really enjoy. Like the ending, I loved the ending. I know some people did not like it. I loved the ending. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I had a great time reading it. I laughed so much. And I thought it was a really good time. I love a funny sci-fi, so.
Mine, it is kind of funny how we lined these up accidentally without knowing we were lining them up, because mine is a sci-fi as well.
Yay!
All Systems Red, Martha Wells. Now this one was recommended to me.
I wonder by who.
I wonder. It's
really
not
weird.
like it was you or anything. Totally was. It is funny though, after I read the first one, then I started finding more people who like the series as well. Same friend I watched and read. Well, I guess we weren't reading it together, but we watched the movie together. Same friend I watched the movie Red, White, and Royal Blue with. Found out recently they also like Martha Wells' Murderbot series. I haven't read past number 1 yet, but it is a series of 4, 5,
Keep going.
7.
I think there's supposed to be 9 total,
Okay.
but there's 7 released right now.
Okay. I could not remember. But it is a series, but they're not long.
No.
None of them are really long books.
They're only
quick reads.
There's only 1 novel, I think, and the rest are more novella length.
So that, if you just want, a book you can breeze through pretty quickly, it's not difficult to get through them in like an afternoon. But I say that I've only read 1. But
I can vouch for it. How about that?
There we go. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was afraid I wasn't going to, because you love them so much.
I adore them.
But I just read it this year, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading the first Murderbot book. The character is self-named Murderbot. That's the character you follow. And you're in space. Murderbot is essentially a security guard. Sec unit is what they call them. Security units. Mm-hmm. They are... I'm trying to think of how not to give anything away. But...
it's really hard. Because it's such a short book.
Yeah.
So you can't really talk about much without giving something away.
Yeah. But Murderbot is guarding this group that goes to a place. I know that's vague.
They go to a place for research. You could say
that.
that.
Okay, so they're researching. They have the sec unit so that if anything goes wrong, theoretically they have this cool, super great fighter on their side.
Yes.
And spoiler, things go wrong.
I think that's a given, though.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of figure that that's what happens in the book. But yes, things go horribly wrong very quickly.
Yes.
I think the book even opens with things going wrong.
Yes,
and
probably.
People being eaten or trying to have something eat them.
Something's trying to eat them.
But, Murderbot is stopping that from happening.
There's not my people I'm supposed to guard.
So, yes. And you follow Murderbot on their journey.
Yes. Who's very sarcastic and doesn't like people.
No.
And just wants to sit and watch their shows.
Yes, I love that. It's so cute. And I loved some of the characters that Murderbot is guarding. Some of them I didn't necessarily like very much. But neither did Murderbot, so that could influence my thoughts on them. But I liked quite a few of them. They were fun. Murderbot is pretty brilliant in a lot of creative ways. a problem solver for sure. And I have started the second book.
Yay!
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Did start the second one. I haven't finished it yet because I didn't have time. I was doing other things, but
yeah,
I did start it. So I already have some spoilers that I know of for the series, but I won't say any of those. But I do plan on finishing the series. The first one was a hit, and it's not really per se a cliffhanger at the end, but you definitely can tell there's going to be more to the series. But I wouldn't say it's a cliffhanger because it wraps up pretty well.
I'd say most of them wrap up, more or less. So if you wanted to stop reading, you could.
Yeah. So if you only wanted the first mission, I guess you could go with that. But
I don't know why you would.
Right, because it's a fun read, especially if you like sci-fi at all.
I feel like it's super intense sci-fi though.
No,
it's not beginner sci-fi, but it's not like throw you in the deep end kind of sci-fi. It's not super intense.
Yeah,
it's like a good middle sci-fi.
Yeah, I also feel like if you enjoyed the game Detroit Become Human, you would also like this a lot. Not exactly the same concept, but kind of the same concept ish. So I think, if you like certain things like that, you would very much enjoy Murderbot. There is a lot of death in it ish, but
yeah,
it's also not really gory or terrible.
Also, if you're wondering, yes, it is one of my favorite series of all time, but I read it last year, so I could not include it on my favorites.
I knew you couldn't include it.
I'm a little sad about, but it's fine. I read them all last year, and I haven't read the newest one yet, so I can't include it, but I could almost guarantee it would go on my favorites if I had read the last one that came out, but I didn't yet, so, because it just came out not very long ago. So I'm so glad you included it on your favorites, because I
knew you wouldn't be able to include it, so.
You're such a nice person.
But I really did enjoy it, so I definitely didn't mind including it on the list. It's not an exhaustive list. Yeah. We had to narrow down a lot.
Okay, then my last one is Spellbound by F.T. Lukens. So this has... so the main character has no magic at all, but goes to work for this very powerful sorcerer. Just to, be a general, help around the office or whatever. They're really good with, technology and fixing things and stuff, and so but they can't be considered the sorcerer's apprentice because they are not magical. And so, and people call the sorcerer for fixing random problems that they have that need magic to fix them, obviously. And then through this job they meet basically this other character who is an apprentice to a sorcerer. I believe they're called sorcerers, not wizards. Pretty sure. Anyway, and so they meet this other character, and who actually is an apprentice who does have magic. The apprentice does not like them at first, but they kind of end up having to work together because something happens to both of their sorcerers. Whoops. So they end up having to... I'm trying to remember how much is in the synopsis I'm allowed to say. So they end up having to work together to try and figure out what happened and how to fix everything. It's so cute. It's so good. It is it's funny. It does have a few darker topics too. I was not expecting the ending to go the way that it did, but I loved it. I thought it was really good. It's definitely some of the characters you're like, are you a good character, or are you going to end up being one of the bad characters at the end? You don't really know, and I love that. Going back and forth. But it's very cute. It's very, obviously very magical. Obviously.
Spellbound.
Yeah, it's literally called Spellbound. The apprentice is non-binary, so we do have that, rep in there, which I do enjoy. I'm trying to think, I just really enjoyed it. It was very cute. It was very magical. There's definitely stakes, and you're like, I really don't know how they're gonna get out of this. kind of thing, especially because, you know, like I said, one main character doesn't have any magic at all. Literally can't do anything. So you're like, I really don't know what you think you're gonna do about this, but go for it, I guess. But then the main character is very cute and very lovable, even though they can they're very, very persistent at times. When I think other people would prefer they not be persistent, but you know. But I mean,
like, just give up already.
Basically. But they're adorable, and they're also kind of klutzy, which is just, I find adorable. I believe there is like a YA, so they are a little bit younger. I believe they're in their like late-ish teens. But it didn't feel super young. They felt very age appropriate, which I like. I need to reread it again because I had such a good time. I loved it. I mean, I gave like 105 books 5 stars, but it still made it to the top 6, so that should say something. So those were each of our top 6 of the year in no particular order. So we're gonna do some honorable mentions. We're not really gonna talk much about them. We're just gonna say what the book is and who it's by. So quick fire honorable mentions, go.
All right, Atlas 6, Olivia Blake.
Okay, If You'll Have Me by Uni.
The Invisible Life of Ali LaRue v. E. Schwab.
I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino.
Cackle, Rachel Harrison.
I knew that was going to be on your list. Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune.
The Wishing Game, Meg Schaefer.
I still need to read that.
I know you do.
I'm working on it. Imogen, Obviously by Becky Albertalli.
City of Nightmares, Rebecca Schaefer.
Minor Mage by T. Kingfisher, one of my favorite authors.
House in the Cerulean Sea.
Yes.
TJ Klune.
Also one of my favorite authors.
I know.
And Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn. Yay! So that was our rapid fire honorable mentions.
Applause, applause,
Yay!
applause.
So I feel like I had a really good reading year. I don't know. Did you feel like you had a good reading year?
I feel like I did. There were some months where I was just getting all misses, and I was
True.
like, "What is happening right now?"
Yeah.
But otherwise, other than those random occasions, I think I had a lot of good reads.
Good. I must say, for context, like I said, I had like 102 5-star ratings. For context, though, I read 232 books this year so far. It's not the end of the year technically quite yet, but I mean, you read even more than that.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many more, but
I have no idea.
But-
It was 200. It's about 200 and some.
yeah. So we read a lot, but I feel like it was a pretty good year overall. So hopefully all of you also had a great 2023 reading year. At least I don't know that anyone really had a great 2023, but maybe
A good reading year, hopefully.
yeah, but hopefully a good reading year. So let us know your favorites of the year down below. We would love to see them and possibly read them if we haven't already.
Yeah, reading recommendations always welcome. Thanks for listening to Magic and Mayhem. All right, bye.